We've heard a lot of times that there are no manuals on how a relationship should be. We also know that there are healthy and unhealthy relationships. On this special episode, I'll be joining 5 amazing people to share their opinions and insights on different relationship issues we'll be talking about. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Join me as I meet them.
Married people or people in relationships, introduce your single friends.
Yeah, like, we can't see finish with this one. What am I coming to your house to do? Like, don't you know me? We know each other. Come to my house.
They defaulted to just being friends.
What is your idea of making sacrifices in a relationship? Should there be a limit?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think that sacrifice is what love is. So for you to be in a relationship, you actually have to love the person.
Right.
And for that relationship to last, there has to be sacrifice. So that's pretty much all you do every time, all day, every day in the relationship. And that's how people grow old together, because they sacrifice.
Okay. What I actually want to get at, is there a limit to what you can sacrifice in a relationship?
Well, I think it depends on the thing, but the sacrifice in itself, there shouldn't be a limit, because this is a partner that you have, and being in that relationship.
Are you sure?
There's no limit.
Okay.
Right.
The saying that goes first.
Okay.
Lean on me, no means they make you press.
Thank you.
I beg to differ.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I would not sacrifice my happiness for anybody.
My mental
Period.
And
health,
then
my freedom.
my partner is not supposed to allow me sacrifice my happiness for him.
True.
So we, both of us, come together and have
Should
an
be common
agreement. Exactly, and have like a common ground. I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so that in itself is sacrifice, and you guys, the fact that you're able to come to a common ground, because what the sort of things that you like, he might not like those things. So the fact that you're willing to compromise,
Okay.
that in itself is sacrifice.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Let me ask you a question. Actually.
Okay.
I want to go to the US now.
Mm.
Let's say I want to do my residency in the US.
Mm.
And then you want to stay in Nigeria because, well, you're making a lot of money and, well, your business is booming and you're doing very good here. What do you think should be the way forward? I want to go to the US because I feel like my career is like my life. My career is everything. And I feel like I need to go to the US to move forward in life. What would you advise us to do as married people?
Again, common ground, you sit and chat about it, and then you weigh option. It's you get logical in things like that. So this is not where emotion comes in. So you weigh your options and say, you know, you have this career and I have this career. Which one is mobile? Which one? And again, sacrifice will come into the picture. So it's one person willing to lay down their thing for the other person, right? So if I am in tech, for example, and I can work from anywhere, you know, I might be willing to sacrifice my location for you to actually achieve that thing.
Okay, so I think I get your point. You are saying there is nothing you cannot sacrifice from what
there
you...
are limits. There
Okay.
are limits. Depends on what it is.
Okay.
But then it then depends on what the thing is. So it then will require both parties to have an agreement, because they have to agree and actually meet at the middle, so that this other person is not disappointed. Well, someone would actually be more hurt than the other, but yeah. But then again, it's what it is. You know, not everybody doesn't go home 100. I might go home with a bigger bag than you.
Yes, okay, I kind of agree with you on that. In the sense that I'm sacrificing 50% and you're also sacrificing something.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, both of us are sacrificing
Something,
to
yeah.
get to somewhere that both of us will become
Exactly. That
Does
is.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let me ask you, Owen, is there something you can never sacrifice in a relationship?
I think it would be my freedom.
Okay.
I don't like to be put in a box, or I'm the last child, so
Okay.
it's not about being spoiled, it's just about communicating rightly. I don't like it when someone says, oh, you can't do this, you're not supposed to do this. I'm like, okay, that is what
That's
we do.
why.
So when some of my married friends will go, oh, it's 7 o'clock, I need to be home, I need to go and do this, I need to go and do that. I'm like, really? if you don't do it, what's going to happen? They're like, no, 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 no. So I like to be able to go home at 11 p.m., go home at 4 p.m., or not go to work at all and stay home. You know, let there be a difference, not doing the same thing over and over again. It gets boring. So I like my freedom, I like my time.
But I think that also comes down to sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
In the sense that, what if your husband is the kind of person that says, well, I prefer my wife to come home at like 9 o'clock because actually I'm afraid something can happen. This is Nigeria, we're not totally safe. She can get kidnapped, she can get robbed, a lot of things can happen to her on the road. So I'll be more comfortable if my wife gets home at 9 o'clock. Now, you're saying, well, I don't want to get home at 9 o'clock. I want to chill till like 12 because that's what I feel like doing. That's what I want to do. And I don't want to be told to come back home at 9 o'clock. However, I feel like if you want to sacrifice, then you have to say, okay, well, my husband wants me to come home at 9 o'clock. So maybe I'll just get there by 9:30 because
Yeah.
So that's
Again, understanding.
Right.
It's where understanding, communication, and compromise comes in.
communication is key.
Right.
It's how you communicate it. I can call, I have a wife now, okay, just like she is now. Let's imagine she's my wife now. And I'm saying, okay, you know, I want you to come home at 9 because it's not safe out there. You know this, you know that.
Exactly.
She's going to almost sit down and reason it and say, okay, you know what,
Right.
by 9,
Cares
okay.
about me.
But not when
How
I'm
you
just, but not when I'm
communicate,
calling her and saying,
yeah.
you know what,
You have
I
to
want you
come
to be
home
home by
at
9.
9.
I
What are you
get you.
doing outside? What's wrong with you?
Right.
Yeah, there's
Like
there's
a
no need to
dictator.
show ego with things like that. So just
Okay. So I didn't really get your answer. It's just your freedom, right?
Yes.
It's just your freedom you cannot sacrifice. Okay, let's move on from sacrifices. Let's talk about PTSDs in relationships. Like, you know, when one is in or have been in a bad situation and it affects your next relationship, like you start having trust issues, you start, I don't know, I think the major PTSD in relationship is trust issues. So let me throw this question to Bola. How do you think people can handle that?
Okay, basically, for me, I think for something like that, communication also. Starting up the relationship when you've been in a bad one previously, I think you should be able to lay it down for the next person and say, okay, you know what, I've been through this, through that, through this, and I might react like this to some things. This is why. Dealing with trauma now, I think, yes, we're all coming from somewhere where you've had one thing too. Just lay it down.
Not
for the
all,
next-
not everybody.
You know,
Most
just
people.
Yeah, most
you know,
people.
so just lay it down for the next person and say, okay, you know, I've been through this. Sometimes I might exhibit this. It's not me doing it on purpose. It's just something that, you know, is more like reflex. That person can be understanding and say, okay, when you do it once in a while, you know, he or she takes it in and be like, okay, I understand, and can talk you through it. And over time, you'll get better and probably heal up, and that phase would pass.
Are you sure? Let me throw more insight. For instance, you were in a relationship where, okay, let me use the lady, she was sexually abused. Then meeting with a new partner, she doesn't know how to show affection. Like, she doesn't even want him to touch her as much. So how can you communicate that? Even if you communicate it and the person is not patient enough to understand or be with you while you're passing through that, like, how do you think that communication will sustain the
That's
relationship?
if the person that your partner is not patient enough to understand that, okay, you've been through this.
Yes.
Well, I think, you know, they always say you need to date. They say date your kind. There's a talking face.
What do you mean by talking face? Is it before the relationship
Before the relationship starts up? Because
by
you guys will
getting there.
talk. Because at that point, that's where I think the talking face is where you should be able to weigh the person and say, okay, how does this person reason? What's this person's mindset like? How does this person see people, treat people, talk to people? That's where you find out those things. So
I
at
agree
that
with you.
at that
Okay.
point is where you would know if would this person be willing to understand with me and take it step by step, or would this person just be like, I don't give a fuck, I'm not. So you will know at that point.
Speaking of talking stage, sorry to cut you off. Speaking of talking stage, or is there something you want to add to this? Because I'm
Well,
about
yes.
to move. Okay.
Personally, I agree with what he has said.
Okay.
But then I think that if you know that you have PTSD or you feel like you have PTSD from, example, sexual assault or something, and then you don't want people to touch you, I feel like before you even go into a relationship, you need to
have
work
to
on
be willing
yourself.
to.
You have to go through therapy. You have to do things for yourself to make yourself comfortable before you even decide to go and put another person's son into any problem that you want.
Is therapy a thing in Nigeria, like a big
Well,
thing?
we really should encourage therapy in Nigeria
Okay.
because people feel like there is mad people that go for therapy or it's mad people that need to be talking to. Oh, like she's seeing the shrink, whatever. I personally think that everybody needs to be in therapy for something. Yes, because
We are all
I agree.
stressed in one way or the other.
Very toxic environment.
very toxic.
People grow up in
Exactly.
toxic homes. You take
I
that
agree as well.
And I also think that it's the willingness of that person who has PTSD to now decide that they want to, embrace change. They are ready
Right.
to, want to change
Exactly.
from what they are, what that thing has done
The
to
first
them.
step is
Yeah, so
Acceptance.
that's how, gradually, and then a partner that is understanding and willing to, walk through that with them.
And then
Okay.
if eventually you get to the talking stage and he's like, I cannot deal. Well, fuck him. Move on to the next.
Right.
Really, you'll be like, well, next is on the list.
Okay,
Like,
so
really,
take
it's
care of
about
yourself
choice.
I also
first.
think that the foundation of all of this is self-awareness. A
Okay.
lot of people are, when they say few are mad, or a lot.
Yes,
they say
many
it,
are mad and
few
Few are roaming, yeah.
A lot of people are going around with baggages that they do not even know exist.
Right.
For example, if someone has been sexually assaulted before, there are certain exhibitions there are certain responses, there are certain triggers that person will have. A number of people do not even understand that this is where my trigger is coming from.
Right.
So how do they communicate that? How do they now come to the point where they know that they need help? So self-awareness is like the foundation of everything we've spoken about.
And you can get that with therapy as well.
Right.
The therapist can tell you that, okay, this is where your problem is coming from, this is why you're having this reaction to this and all that. That can
Okay.
also help.
Maybe your YouTube thing can be
Okay.
about therapy as well.
Well,
You
you
can
never
chip
know.
that in.
Okay, so from what I've gotten from everybody is that to deal with relationship PTSDs, you have to first be self-aware, go for therapy, then have a break first before moving to a relationship, then talk about it at the initial stage when you're meeting somebody. Okay.